Astadia is basically a global consulting company. We're one of the largest and most experienced SaaS consulting companies. Started our business back in 2000. Over the last 10 years, we've done about 4,000 SaaS implementations. And with those numbers, you look at it and you say, wow, this is truly different than a traditional IT consulting company, because traditional companies could never do that number of projects, because our typical project is anywhere from 30 to 60 days. Really where we focus in terms of our efforts is really around SaaS players like Salesforce.com, Eloqua, Google, Exactly, which is a compensation management platform. And basically what we do is help clients deliver business results, help them with getting value very quickly, providing innovative solutions using SaaS, and ongoing business improvement processes. We have a global distribution model, so we've got consultants basically in the UK and the US. Our headquarters is here in Singapore, covering all of Asia. We've also got an office in Bangkok. So really what I want to talk about today, which is the big idea, is cloud computing offers a transformational business opportunity for companies. And we've heard a lot about SaaS in terms of the technology and some of the general business benefits, but really what I want to impart here today is that this is a real transformational business opportunity that is different than what IT has provided in the past. The New York Times recently was looking to put 150 years of their news, which was basically images and imprints of their newspapers over many years of publications, onto the web. And they've had these archives for many years and thought it would be great to have this be searchable and viewable on the web. And so they went out and they looked at a traditional model where they'd buy hardware, basically code an application to process all these files, very large files, text, and XML files. And they needed about 100 to 150K in hardware and 3 to 6 months to get it up and active. And they turned to Amazon.com, and Amazon offers Amazon Web Services. And basically they found out that they could use their EC2 platform, which is basically their scalable computing platform, and basically developed an application in a couple of weeks that did the same amount of work in just 36 hours. And the total cost in terms of that computing and the services that they paid to Amazon for processing was only $500. What's amazing about that is that they basically leased hundreds of servers of computing power for 36 hours, turned it off, and they didn't have to house the hardware anymore, right? And so when you look at these opportunities, it's transformational. It allows you to really fundamentally think differently about what can you do with software as a service to impact your business. I founded and started my own SaaS consulting company years ago. I sold it to Astadia last year, and I've seen thousands of projects. And basically what I've heard from a lot of companies is a couple of basic things. I mean, you hear a lot of the marketing spin, but at the end of the day, it's about access to world-class infrastructure at a very cheap cost. We all have access to a multi-million-dollar data center, okay? I sit there, I use Gmail, and Gmail has, Google has spent hundreds of millions of dollars in their data centers, and I'm benefiting from that just by paying $50 a year for hosting my email for my enterprise, right? And so that's fundamentally different than what we're used to in traditional environments. We have to, have a wiring closet. You got to get LANs. You got to get, all the infrastructure put in place. You get the idea. High performance is another big winner here, which is an ability to not only have a high-performance application with great response times that typically run better than an application running down the hall, but you also have an ability to deliver on business requirements very, very rapidly and in a flexible manner such that you can adapt to the market, and you can therefore build a company that is a high-performance enterprise, okay? The next item is innovation. And you heard innovation come up a few times this morning, and IT and innovation have really kind of clashed over the years. And the reason for that is because you bring in armies of consultants to code an application, and you get so buried into the requirements documentation, pages of reviews of red lines and what it should be and what the application shouldn't be, what the scope is. And what happens is you lose the vision for the application, and you lose the innovation, the creativity, okay? And what SaaS has done is it's really brought that back, and it's allowed business executives and leaders to really come up with business ideas very quickly and turn to their business partners and their IT partners in their organization and get that stuff implemented within weeks. And when you can do that, that fundamentally changes the way that you can service your customers, changes the way that you service the market, and how you go to market in terms of with new products, okay? Another point around innovation is being able to really translate ideas into action, okay? And this is something I'm going to talk a bit about with JP in a few minutes. from Crocs, which is a company that we had done a recent project for here in Asia. The last item is total cost of ownership. And a lot of people go through and do lengthy cost of ownership analysis on buying servers and doing the development versus SaaS and saying, okay, I've got a 5-year plan, and really the payoff isn't really there. But if you look beyond kind of the hard numbers in front of you and you look at actually the human capital cost of people trying to use ineffective applications and people trying to search for information because they're using applications that are siloed or hobbled, and you add that all up, it really turns into a big cost that gets unaccounted for, okay? And with SaaS, it's fundamentally different because these applications are written to be very much like the consumer web. They're very easy to use, easy to learn. The training that we typically deliver to a client is a day or a couple of days, really just to orient them, right? How often do you have to go, when you turn on Google, call them up and say, hey, can you give me a training course on how I use Gmail? You don't need it, right? And that's really the fundamental premise here is easy to use and driving adoption so that you drive better business results. It's really about high user adoption. So talking about usability, your people are actually going to use this. So you're going to get user adoption that's in the 80s and 90 percentile versus traditional software applications which run in the 20 to 30%. We're able to get a customer up and running within 2 to 4 weeks. You heard SquarePeg talk about a lot of these examples as well. And delivering 4,000 users and getting them live within 8 weeks was unheard of in the past, right? And so I think you get the idea. Increased customer satisfaction. So now we operate in a connected world. We've got mobile, we've got web, and SaaS really fits in well with that environment. And so what it does, it allows us to better collaborate with customers and with partners, be better connected and more responsive, which drives better client retention and better customer service. You also have collaboration, and so building partner relationship management sites, customer relationship management sites, tying into social networking sites. And these are all things that would have been very, very difficult in the past, but now when you're operating in the cloud, it's very easy to integrate these systems with standardized APIs. JP was actually our project manager, and he's part of the marketing organization at Crocs Asia. Basically, what we did for Crocs is they came to us and they basically said, look, we're looking for a better way to tap into the community of customers who wear Crocs and who are passionate about the Crocs brand. And you've sold, what, 100 million Crocs over the last several years?
That's right.
Right? And so really the vision of the project was to connect with millions of Crocs customers to share future products, get feedback, and get ideas from customers, and do that in a quick way. And the first phase of the project, we got live in about 60 days. And right now we're working with JP and the team to basically extend that to a social networking site.
When we were approached with the SaaS solution with the Astadia team, and we saw that we could put this up and running in 6 weeks for such a low cost, then that was really the only solution for us. Time was the biggest factor for sure. I mean, you look at some of these projects that last 3 to 6 months or longer. If you go to a SaaS model and you have a team like Astadia pushing it, then you can deliver it in the time frame that you set out.
How did innovation play a role in the project that was done at Crocs?
When we set out on the project, we had about 50% of the project that was set in stone and 50% of the project that was needed to be changed or defined as we went. We didn't want to delay the project, but we wanted to leave those doors open. And so SaaS, the ability to drop things in and out of the software as we needed, as we defined those objectives more clearly, allowed us to move forward with the project on time and still be able to innovate and change the project as we needed.
So it helps you evolve kind of your process and thinking around a solution and kind of shape it as it goes. Looking ahead, what do you anticipate as some of the benefits of the overall initiative? You're just starting to see some of it right now, but what do you see as the future of it?
Our goal really is to reach out to those customers and find out what are we not doing for them, because at the end of the day for us, we're a customer-based business. Using SaaS, it allows us to continue down the path of reaching out to each and every one of our customers and changing as we need with the software as a service.
Excellent. Great. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah,
Appreciate you coming out. Thank you.